Have you ever wondered if any of those $5 wines at the grocery store are any good? I did too, so I did the only thing that made any sense. I read reviews online. No, of course I didn't do that. I did something way less sensible. That's right, I went out and bought every single one of them. The truth is, it's actually really hard to find any reliable reviews about wines under $5. Most professional critics don't review wines at this price point, but the reality is that most wine bought and sold in the world costs less than 10 bucks, and the majority of it costs less than 5. So these are the wines that the vast majority of people are drinking. The only problem is that super cheap wine is often not very good. Sometimes it doesn't even taste like wine. So I wanted to find out if I could perhaps do the world a public service and find out which wines under 5 bucks are actually worth the money. Now, before you use your jump to conclusions mat that all of these wines are gonna be terrible, may I remind you that when I blind tasted all 21 Pinot Noirs from Trader Joe's, the second place winner was only 7 bucks. It beat out wines costing $30 or more. A similar thing happened when I tasted every wine from Costco too. Coming in second place was a wine that cost only 6 bucks. So there is genuine hope to find some gems in here. We just have to dig, and dig we shall. So for my shopping trip, I went to national grocery stores like Walmart, Aldi, and Trader Joe's. But I also visited our regional favorite here in Texas, H-E-B. When all was said and done, I ended up with 52 bottles of wine. So to find out which one is the absolute best, and to keep the length of this video under control, we're gonna do a 2-part tasting. In the first part, I'm gonna quickly blind taste and rank all of the wines of the same varietal. So for example, I'll taste all of the Merlots at the same time. Then I'll rank them to find the best of all of the Merlots. That wine, the best one from each group, will move on to part 2, a tournament style bracket where the best wines will face off in a one-on-one battle until one is crowned the ultimate champion. Call me crazy, but I'm feeling pretty confident we can find a good wine in here. That's what this channel's all about, right? And if you didn't know that, well, allow me to introduce myself. I'm Dustin. I've literally tasted thousands of wines, and it's always bothered me how people who know about wine make it so snobby and complicated. I'd like to change that, so welcome to my channel where I make fun, helpful videos for non-wine people. If you haven't subscribed yet, now is a great time to do so, because by the end of this video, you will know the single best grocery store wine under $5. All right, are you ready? Let's get to boozing. Also, quick note, you might notice I'm a little bit out of focus in this video. Totally my bad. I locked the focus about 6 inches in front of me and just didn't catch it. So enjoy this video where I kind of look like I'm in a bit of a soft dream sequence. Thanks. All right, it's time for us to find out which of these is best. Okay, here we go. Left is best. That's a good, that makes sense. That one is surprisingly palatable. Wow. Just gonna move that over a little bit. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, it's so sour. Oh, this one smells like lighter fluid. Oh my God. Oh, all right, that was mid-pack. Oh, Jesus Christ. Overarching experience of these Pinot Grigios is that horrendously sour, like brutal levels of sourness, except for this one. Oh, that one's rotten. Okay. All right, so the early groupings, these are the 2 liters. This is mid-pack, and these are all abysmal, but Blue 4 is in a world of its own because it's completely rotten. Like putrid, sweat gland rotten. It's disgusting. All right, let's find out which of these is the best. Oh man, I think I'm good with this. Okay, so this is how the cookie ended up crumbling. What I really enjoying about where this particular cookie crumbled is that the Target wine was the best one. I love Target. I feel like it's a far superior place to shop than this one, which is from Walmart. Although this particular bottle is the only one in the lineup. You know, we talk a lot in the wine world about the specificity of grapes, like where they come from. You know, it's not always a symbol of quality when a wine just says it's from California. That means they could be using grapes from anywhere. This is one of the first wines I've ever seen, this Redwood Highway brand, which I bought at HEB, that it's just America is the appellation. It's too big, it's too much space. So this tasted disgusting and rancid. It was horrifying. And number 2, it's $2 Chuck. How interesting. What a stalwart of the industry. All right, let's move on. Just a little sprinkling of Sauvignon Blanc here. Is seemingly not as prevalent of a grape, clearly as Pinot Grigio, I discovered, much to my chagrin. And definitely not to Chardonnay, but we all knew that. If we didn't know that, that's a-okay. This is snob-free wine. Chardonnay's the top dog in the white wine world. Let's go. It's decent. Wow. Weirdly decent. Tastes mid-pack-ish to me. So sour. Holy shit, is that sour. Mid-pack. Smells like dog shit. Maybe it's okay. Yeah, that dog poop wine did quite a bit better than I expected, if I'm honest. In this case, I have to be totally honest. The $2 Chuck is in a different league. This is like the best tier, this is mid tier, this is low tier. So there's only one wine really in the top tier in this particular lineup. The final thing I'll say is that this Boda Box Sauvignon Blanc legitimately smells a little bit like dog poop. So that's honestly probably fascinating for some people out there. Oh my God. Okay. Oh, it's like sour oak. Oh. Ugh. Well, it's shit. Okay. Oof. Ugh. Oh. Mid-tier. Also mid-tier. Oh. Oh, this is rancid. Rancid dog shit. Oh God. Not as bad as the other rancid one, but that is bad. Oh, jeepers creepers. It's hard to recommend buying Chardonnay for under $5 at this particular moment. Finally, another mid-tier. Like, you're almost escaping. You're like the best of the worst. The final one. Come on, bring us home, buddy. Be something, be anything. Nope. Ugh. Down here. This is in a good tier over here. It feels very similar to these, but it is noticeably better. But some of the other wines we've tasted, it's been like a true gap. But this is the clear best one for sure. So let's do the reveal. Let's figure this thing out. All right, this one is a little heartbreaking to me. Okay, and the reason why is that, man, I talked a lot of shit about this in the Pinot Grigio lineup. It was putrid, and it's the second best one in the Chardonnay lineup. And Yellowtail, you know, a little surprising, I guess, just because it's been doing so poorly in all the other rounds, but I should have mentioned this at the top. Because there's so many Chardonnays and so many Cabernet Sauvignons, I'm gonna pick the top 2 from Chardonnay and Cabernet Sauvignon to move on to the final showdown. So it's actually gonna be these, but hold on. The Black Box Chardonnay is undrinkable pig piss. Do not buy this. Yellowtail and this absolutely bananas, quote fingers, American Chardonnay are moving on into our final lineup. Dear God, what a tangled web we weave. Curated selection of red blend wines. What's so cool about red blend wines is that they tend to be better values than wines that are of a single varietal like Cabernet Sauvignon. And the reason why they tend to be better values is that it gives the winemaker a lot larger of a palette. They don't have to have all of these grapes being so much of one type, like Cabernet Sauvignon, to make the wine work. So they can keep blending until they find something that works. So typically, a decent way to approach a wine store on a budget I still look for blended wines, particularly red blended wines. Ooh, it smells gross sweet, sickeningly sweet. That is repulsively sweet. That's gonna be down here in the low tier. I'm fine with sweet wines. I'm just not fine with that one. Oof. Okay, I'll mid-tier that one. That's interesting. This one kind of just tastes like an old queef. Like at the very end, it's just like old queef vibes. Yuck. Like an old dirty queef. I don't know if I'm just damaged goods from all these wines, but that one seemed okay. That one seemed okay. Okay, this one's a little bit tougher than some of the other categories have been. So would you look at this? A pattern certainly is emerging. We see once again, California Roots and Two Buck Chuck up in the top two respectively. I think that we're starting to see that if you're gonna pop into a place and pick up a cheap bottle of wine, going to Target or Trader Joe's might be a good spot to do it. And these two are razor thin, like they're just so different, but honestly, this is a very, very cool and courageous wine because it's a very young wine made in the Beaujolais style, which is essentially a wine that isn't aged at all. It's like put right into a bottle. And that's not all that typical to be done in the United States. And so the fact that this exists is really cool and is absolutely worth $5. I think you should check it out. But I just think this one actually has the essence of wine. Like when you're thinking about having wine, this is what you're thinking about. And it's actually pretty balanced. I've said it every time, but I love Merlot. It's a primary component. Some of my favorite wines, like Bordeaux, especially Right Bank Bordeaux. And if you don't know, that's a Bordeaux wine that's more Merlot driven than Cabernet Sauvignon. Holy shit. Ooh. That one is terrible. Very, very strong, terrible oak. This smells like mouthwash, but like mint mouthwash. It ain't bad though. I shouldn't say it smells like mint mouthwash. It smells more like when your toothbrush, the taste is just like fresh burst. That's what that smells like. It smells like fresh burst. Ugh. Ugh. That's terrible. Okay, it's okay, mid-tier. Alas, we may have just gotten lucky. Man, I felt a lot of confusion between these two. It's really, 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 really hard to choose which one is better because they both show up in very different ways. They both have flaws, but I think one of them makes me less happy than the other. So that's the order. What have we learned? We've learned that Redwood Highway is reliably shit, except for that one time that it did really well in the Chardonnay offering. You know, everything else seems to be relatively standard fare, but a real shocker is that Oakleaf got second in this round. I really went back and forth too, which means these are reasonably evenly matched. Two Buck Chuck once again in the top half. I don't think we've seen Charles Shaw in the bottom half yet, so probably the most reliable pick of all of them. But yeah, I'm excited that it's Yellowtail, I think. I don't think I have a feeling about it. And on that bombshell, let's move on. There's so much Cabernet Sauvignon that it's only fair that we choose two from this particular group to move on to the final showdown. Mid-pack. There's a little bit of character. Maybe there? Well, this one was surprisingly clean. It's one of the better ones. Ugh. Ugh. This is probably the most reliable of all of the categories I've tasted so far. There were certainly some stinkers, but more than half of them were drinkable. I feel very surprised by the outcome of this particular round. This midpoint, these were all still totally drinkable. It was only until we got down here that they became very undrinkable. But what's just really shocking me is that this Redwood Highway wine is just oscillating between top and worst constantly. It's a disappointing thing to see Target so low here. And actually this particular one, the Yellowtail one, I would say is the most courageous. It has some actual complexity to it. It just also has a lot of flaws. But this one is the best. And this Hardy's one, I never even heard of, I haven't heard of some of these, but this one is this like Tom Hardy? This is from a guy named Thomas Hardy. Anyway, the point is, these two nobodies are moving on to the main event. We are now officially in part 2 of our 2-part tasting. And at this point, we're just gonna do it not blind. Is that like with sight? We're gonna do it with sight. Yeah, the reason why is I just tasted 52 of these fucking things, and I have pretty good sense now, especially because I picked the winners of the colors of them. We're also now at a point where we're tasting different varietals versus each other. It's just pretty clear to me what I'm drinking right at this point. So I think it's more fun if we just have a conversation about what we're having. We're ultimately trying to find the best wines in grocery stores under $5. We're trying to find the best one, the absolute best. What do you say we start with the white one? Isn't that the way to do it? You know, this one on the nose isn't that interesting, even a little flawed to smell. Like I didn't love the smell of this wine then, and I don't like the smell of it now. But let's give it a taste. You know, I won't lie. The Chardonnay group was a rough group. It was, in fact, the roughest group. This wine, unless my memory is failing me over here, this wine is gonna be in tough shape here. Let's see how the Yellowtail Merlot goes. This kind of smells like a musty old book in a not totally pleasant way. I won't lie. Yeah, okay, so what I find actually really cool about this wine is that it has the really desirable pepperiness that you get in much more sophisticated Merlots. Merlots from Bordeaux that cost 20, 30, 40, 50 bucks have this sort of flavor profile, this texture. This has it for 5. So that makes me really excited. And you know, it's not the most interesting in the world to drink, but it's also not the worst. And so this is an easy one, no doubt about it. This is the better of the 2 wines. So funny story, when I sat down to film this round, I thought I was hitting the record button, but no, I actually turned the camera off. You can literally see me sit down and power everything down, which is hilarious. Anyway, the winner of this round was the Charles Shaw Sauvignon Blanc. Next up, we have 2 titans of industry. Target versus some weird random wine that I found at my local regional grocery store, H-E-B here in Texas. You know, that's pretty decent. It's honestly chewy in like a good way. Like you just kind of want to gnaw on it. And if you haven't had a wine that you just want to gnaw on, it's $5. What's holding you back? Just do it. Oh my God. Okay, here's the deal. I'm gonna be straight up with you. I have no trust or love for this Hardy's brand. And now that we're sighted and we are no longer blind, I have trust and love for Target. And I have trust and love that this brand has been continuously kind of in the top pack, whereas this has never been in the top pack. Yes, there is a part of me that is like, there is just a little bit more on offer here. I think from a genuine consumer advice standpoint, this wine, which by the way is just red blend, is extraordinarily similar to this one and does not come with all the baggage of potentially being actor Tom Hardy's passion project. I don't know. I don't know if this invalidates the whole thing. It doesn't invalidate it. This is Dustin's channel. This is the better one, God damn it. All right. Redwood Highway, all across the USA, grape-sourced Cabernet Sauvignon. You all know it, household name. Yellowtail Chardonnay. I'll start with the white one. That's what they tell you to do in the Wine Academy. Boy, I'm reminded of how rough the Chardonnay group was. The Chardonnay group was not a group of winners. God, I hate that this wine is where it is. Like when I picked it up off the shelf, I seethed with anger. Okay, here's the deal. The Chardonnay group was rough. Rough. This had to just not shoot itself in the foot to move on. And so because it didn't, it is. We've got some old friends, $2 Chuck and that kangaroo fella. Let's see which one is the better one. Listen, at the end of the day, I want to give $2 Chuck the pass here. I really do. There is just something that is ultimately very unsatisfying about this wine. It does not beckon you to have more than a couple sips. It's still too sour. It's just unmanaged well. This wine, while still full of flaws, I could see myself being at a wedding, having this, having a glass, and being like, okay, I'll have another glass. And I think that that's a really valuable viewpoint to consider at this moment, because while they both are similar in their experience, this is the one that I'm more open to drinking more of. And for that reason, it's moving on to the finals. Wow, Yellowtail, amazing. Fight! Wouldn't it be cool if they started fighting? I'm gonna go for this Cabernet Sauvignon first. Let's see what's going on. It's a little sweet on the nose. I won't lie. Like, I think for folks who are brand new to wine, $5 wines, like, I think that they would find this to be a good smell. I think for me, it smells simple and a little saccharine. I absolutely hate that wine's pretty good. It's decent. It works. It's like, it's doing its thing. I don't know. Oh boy, I do not. Let's just try this one. This is really a moment for beginners versus more experienced wine drinkers. Beginners are gonna really gravitate towards the kind of approachability of this wine. It's sweeter, it's on the sweeter side, which helps the fact that it's cheap. In this case, I just feel strongly that this wine is a wine that's better for people who are more into wine. It has more complexity. It doesn't have flaws that jump out to me as being like deal breakers. And ultimately, it's the one that I would have a second glass of. And so for that reason, you, my little man, get to go into the finals. Okay. The finals, this is it, the big two. In a way, they're already winners, right? I'd say the final four were already winners. So this is really exciting. I think that we've got a just beloved grocery store chain. I mean, it's really more than that, but you know, Target. And over here, this one's available everywhere. It's not really representing anything. It's time to figure out. It's zesty, peppery, hits in a way that makes me feel like it is of the ilk slightly of fine wine. I think that's really desirable about this wine. It's pretty good. I honestly, if I was gonna give it a rating on the channel, typically, I'd say it's a strong C. Like I'd pay between, you know, $12 to $15 for a wine of that quality. So it's pretty good. I'd have to give, if we were rating these wines traditionally, I'd give this one a weak C, which means I'd be willing to pay up to about $10 for a wine of this quality. So it's still a deal. It's a great deal. It's half off. But this one wine, the Yellowtail Merlot, is the only wine out of all 52 $5 US grocery store wines that I tasted that is actually pretty damn good. I'd invite you to try this wine. Like, it's so available. It's available in so many countries too. So, you know, it's a pretty small investment. Grab this, grab another $5 wine and see what you think. See if it's something that, you know, you're like, wow, actually, I agree. This was a lot of value that he provided. Like, he tasted all these things. This is a really good one. Now I have a $5 wine in my repertoire. So first and foremost, the single best wine out of all 52 is the Yellowtail Merlot. The Yellowtails in general were pretty decently consistent. One of the things that really stood out were these California Roots wines. These are available at Target. I would say this is one of the more consistent options. They were in the top half often. We learned that Chardonnay should be avoided. It is not great at the $5 price point. Even the very best ones were not very good. We did learn that Cabernet Sauvignon was one of the most reliable ones at this price point. And this weird one, Hardy's, I don't know, it was one of the top 2 from the Cabernet Sauvignon tasting, but ultimately, like, I don't know. Something about it that rubs me the wrong way. Also, this Redwood Highway was the #1 Cabernet Sauvignon in the earlier round, but I just don't trust this brand. This brand was simultaneously in the top and the very last place multiple times. Top, worst, top, worst. I hate that inconsistency, so I gotta say, probably a pass. These Tetra Pak wines, none of them were almost ever in the top half. They're all shit. Basically everything from Aldi, Walmart, and wherever the shit this Castillo San Simon is from are garbage. I don't think there was any of them that made it into the top half outside of the Cabernet Sauvignon one, where it seemed like a lot of the wines performed pretty well and got into the top half. Have I pleased you? Is this a pleasing summary to you? I hope it was. This was a lot of fun to do. I would never recommend drinking 64 of these wines in a row. I feel like I need a sauna. I need to sauna. I'm gonna go sauna. All right. Bye friends, I love you. Leave me compliments in the compliments. Thank you so much for watching. By the way, if you like wine and having fun, then you'll probably like my free newsletter. Every few weeks I send out an email with valuable wine info, and I even do free wine giveaways. So if you're a cool person, head over to wineguydustin.com. That's wineguydustin.com to sign up. Also, if you haven't subscribed yet to the channel, now is the best time to do so. The more subscribers we get, the larger and more expensive these blind tastings will be for you in the future. If you want to support the channel, please check out the links below to purchase the wines from the video. It honestly helps so much more than you know. And if you found this video interesting, then check out this one where I blind tasted every Costco wine to find out which one is best. See you there.